All right, here we are again.
All right, yeah, Panoramblin number 3.
Yeah,
And
3.
yeah, got some good updates to fill you guys in on since our last one. Obviously, it's been a chunk of time since we've last done one of these,
Yeah,
but we
when was the
both.
last one? January or
Yeah, I think
February?
so. Actually, I think it was February. Yeah,
So
but
we gotta stop putting like months between these things.
I know, right? Yeah, we started out thinking, oh yeah, we can do this once a week.
Yeah.
But then we were like, oh, we need to do it in these nice locations, and started getting busier with Invisible Hand Design.
Thankfully.
And before you know it,
Yeah.
no podcasts are going out.
Yeah.
So I think
Plus,
we gotta.
just how much I've been taking care of
Yeah.
the little one. But we are talking about having a set schedule now to do these weekly. So
Yeah, hopefully we'll be a little bit more regular with our content production.
Oh, we gotta get more podcast fiber going then.
Podcast fiber?
Yeah. So we can be regular.
Oh. I don't know why I was thinking like fiber optics. I was like, oh, we need more like technology. Is our bandwidth not strong enough? What's going on here?
Podcast fiber.
No, we just need to shit out more content more regularly.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully our content won't be shit, but we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. I guess I'll start with the biggest update since we last got together and recorded it, at least.
Yeah.
And which is
I
another.
already know, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you guys listen.
And that's another factor that's been
holding up our podcast.
Yeah, like
sessions.
yeah, just trying to do a lot of house cleaning and cleaning things up.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you may or may not know, I for the past 3 years have been working on putting together New Agris Beer Company, getting a craft brewery off the ground here in Southern California.
Yeah.
And
Not a small feat.
No, it's not. Very capital intensive, very time intensive. We got pretty far. We got beer to market. We have technically still, one beer that's available in Orange County. And for a variety of reasons, which I'm not going to get into too much detail on, but as of about 3 weeks ago, I decided to resign from New Agris Beer Company. Just felt it was the best choice for me, having had a really difficult year in 2018, both like stress and financially, and the strain it's put on my relationship, and the fact that it's affected my ability to be present with my daughter as much as I'd like.
Sure.
And seeing the trajectory that I would have to commit to be able to continue pursuing that dream.
Well, it was basically an ultimatum when it came to that.
Yeah.
Trajectory-wise.
Exactly. And I can touch on that here in a minute. But yeah, that trajectory that I would have had to commit to would have meant I would have solidified for at least another year a lot of those factors that made 2018 so difficult. So I would have had still
a whole other year ahead of you.
A whole other year of significant
that.
Financial difficulties. I would have had to, had certain conditions in place that would have continued to cause issues for my relationship. I would have had to continue to split time and not give my daughter the focus that she deserves.
Less time for the Panoramblin Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the main one. Yeah. I was like, which one's it going to be? So, yeah, and then me and my business partner had some very significant and important discussions over the last couple of months about how we see the best strategy moving forward to make it happen. And I laid out a strategy which I felt was going to solve the problems that we were facing over 2018.
Pretty good strategy too, I thought.
Thanks. And I'm not going to get too much into detail on that, but
not necessary.
you know, it was pretty comprehensive as far as addressing some major issues, and his strategy, which he's entitled to, was to basically stay the course and to continue to do things which weren't working, in my opinion, and so.
It's a definition of insanity.
Yeah. So I felt that was not going to be a smart move for me to make. If I, going into something knowing it's not going to work, then, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
So, we also had some personal differences as far as our working style and, siloed tasks and miscommunication and lack of communication.
Yeah.
So he expressed his interest in me moving on. I didn't feel it was necessary at the time that he gave me his opinion on that, but I gave it about a week to think about it.
Dude, you weighed
man,
you took some heavy consideration on it.
That was one of the toughest.
Seeing you pacing and
one of the toughest decisions I've ever made.
I
because
bet.
I, invested 3 years, thousands of dollars, and blood, sweat, and tears into this.
Also, it was a very passionate project for you.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
I remember that was the number one topic of conversation a lot of times.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad thing. It's just...
Yeah, that was my vision for a long time, and I'm still kind of mourning
the loss
of it, and I'm hoping that my friendship with him continues. I know right now it's kind of like in that post breakup phase where you're like, things are awkward, and I would really not like to run into them at the same bar that I go to, or whatever happens to be.
Yeah.
But I've also been really great friends with him for 16 years or something like that.
It's a long time.
So I don't think necessarily that's gonna
it's not something to just throw away.
Yeah, it's not gonna end our friendship, but
I hope
it's
not.
just kind of right now trying to let the dust settle, and so Aaron has decided to move forward and is now pretty much the sole owner of the company, and is going to continue to build New Agorist here in Orange County.
Yep.
And I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
If you guys are interested in trying it, or big fans of New Agorist already, then still available.
Yeah, So I mean, you can go to newagorist.com and see where you can find the beer.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I'm not going to be part of that journey anymore.
No.
I've decided to do some things that are a little bit more tried and true. Prior to that, to getting into the brewery, I've been a designer, art director level designer for many years. I've started some design studios, and Zach and I, as we mentioned in a previous podcast, have gone into business together with Invisible Hand Design, and so now, that's our new focus. And
feeling good about it.
Yeah. I mean,
so far it's been nice.
It's picking up pretty well. We've got a few clients. We're starting to develop some awesome products.
Yep.
And to give you kind of like the quick download on what our plans are with Invisible Hand Design, it's a design studio that's half client work and half development of our own products. Because we have so many ideas constantly, part of why we came up with the Panoramblin Podcast is because, our idea flow is...
Our back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. It's so productive.
Yeah.
And so we end up coming up with more ideas than we could ever hope to actually pursue. So
at least while we're having to do a 9-to-5 daily job kind of grind.
Exactly.
And, if we can bring in some capital through our design work and our services and apply that to making these products and then reinvest in ourselves, then I think it's a pretty good tactic.
Yep, that's right. So, the a couple of the first things that we're starting off with is we're going to be doing a line of our own branded apparel and accessories, just for fun, you know.
So it's available for when things start really picking up.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, things that are sort of designed based off of this sort of fun, tongue-in-cheek, esoteric brand that we're building. So
we're seriously making fun of ourselves.
Yeah, I'm seriously making fun of certain aspects of society.
Yeah.
So
we've always been interested in like conspiracy theories and that kind of fun stuff, but always more of like an entertainment value or, you know, comedic factor sort of thing. Like it's fun to think about these things and it stretches your mind, but you know, it's fun. It's better if you can laugh about it too.
Right.
You know, you can't take yourself or those kind of things.
And not
too
only
seriously.
that, but also looking at a lot of the serious things that are actually happening and aren't just theory or conjecture.
Exactly.
And being able to, you know, make light of them and draw attention to them in a humorous, not so serious way, but they still deserve to be talked about.
Exactly.
So it's kind of combining those things. And so that's what you'll find with our brand. You know, we're going to be doing some t-shirts and apparel. We're going to be releasing some pins and stickers and, you know, just fun things like that for now. And we're also going to be launching a line of super exclusive micro-manufactured products in the next couple of months. We can't give away too many details on that, but generally speaking, anywhere between every quarter or ideally at some point every month, we want to release a exclusive product that there's only maybe 100 to 300 of them produced ever.
Yeah.
And
each with their own little number.
Yep.
Each with their own little token or pin attached with them, like collector's items kind of thing.
Exactly. So, you know, you only know it's the legit invisible hand piece if it's combined with the pin.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have both of them for authenticity.
Yeah.
And yeah, really fun, just creative.
It's been hugely fun.
Things that we're designing. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
We'll be releasing more details.
Exactly. Like, I figured once we have something confirmed, then we can make a nice announcement kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So that's the update with New Agrist and with Invisible Hand Design. On the topic of creating more content, if you've watched us on our YouTube channel, you'll notice that the YouTube channel name has changed.
Yes, that's right.
That was because what we were previously co-branding with New Agrist Beer Company, and the platform we were building with New Agrist was the Agora, and so we were combining the content that we produce with the Agora, but we've decided that we are going to be, you know, doing, obviously we're not going to be producing content for something I'm not part of anymore.
Yeah.
So we've decided to rename the channel. Panoramblin Podcast still exists, and we'll be coming up with new content, but we decided to change the name of the channel, and now it is called Arcanum OK. And
Arcanum OK.
yeah, you almost have to say it with that inflection.
Exactly.
And
thank God YouTube lets you put exclamation points.
I know, yeah.
It really drives it home, I think.
Exactly. And that's really just another play off of our invisible hand and the logo.
Yeah, which is kind of like an A-OK kind of thing.
Hand gesture.
Yeah.
Arcanum meaning essentially, you know, hidden knowledge only to the illuminated, only to the studied people.
Yeah. Subjects that few understand or know kind of thing.
Right. And so, you know, there's the esoteric subjects, the invisible, let's say, and then the okay hand. So, Arcanum OK.
Plus, we like to talk about things that few people, like, you know, nuanced things, you know, things that aren't widely understood in multiple perspectives. You know, when there's like a single narrated sort of perspective on something, then, you know, we got to tease it apart and make sure that it's fully understood from the nuanced perspective as well.
And that's fits in with sort of how we're marketing and branding the Invisible Hand brand is kind of towards those who really love the whole intellectual dark web type of subject matter. And the best way to describe that is that we're in a world that has been
in a world
that has been mind controlled by mainstream media, where mainstream media has just talked about certain topics by breaking it into 5-minute sound bites, so you get, top level information with no nuance, no background, no context, very sensationalized, and
all
with
ratings driven.
Yeah, and with that now in complete disarray and breakdown.
It's just happening so much faster.
Oh, it's
now.
It's fun great. to watch. I'm loving it. Because I checked out from that world a long time ago, way before the intellectual dark web was a thing. Yeah. I haven't had cable in over 10 years. I cut, cable news out of my life a long time ago, even before that. But intellectual dark web, in a nutshell, is this new trend where people of every political persuasion prefer to really understand any given topic. So they'll go and listen to long form 3 or 4 hour content. They'll get it from a variety of sources, from a variety of experts and people who hold unpopular opinions, and then formulate their perspective from there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an incredible development in, let's say public discourse and public knowledge, where finally,
where debate is actually back.
Yeah, and debate is fun and cool.
Exactly.
So
it's not just mudslinging and crap like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I forgot where I was going with that, but Arcanum OK, esoteric, dark, intellectual dark web. Yeah, that all kind of fits together in what we're doing.
Exactly.
And, it's just a lot of fun. And I love the fact that, I have a business partner here that, we research a lot of the same things, but not always, getting the same sources.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we both know a lot about any given topic, but, we can really tease it apart, as you were saying. Yeah. It's just so much fun.
It really is. And then, of course, we're going to have the Discord.
That's right.
Group as well.
Yeah, so there is a Discord community. We don't really have very many members right now.
Not yet.
We haven't really been pushing it. That, too, was originally built as the Agora, but now we feel that it's going to be more fully utilized by us than by Aaron, who's going to be a little more focused just on, getting the brewery up and running.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to have the Agora on the Discord server, then that's fine.
Yeah. So now we've renamed the Agora on Discord to be
Arcanum Arcade.
Yes, the Arcanum Arcade. And, I think that is a fun play off of that platform, which was originally built for people in gaming communities to communicate. And but we're taking it more of the old etymology of arcade, which is a corridor of columns.
Yeah, a series of arches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a gallery.
Yeah, a gallery.
Or like a
gallery of arches.
Yeah.
And so it's the let's call it the home of esoteric conversation.
Yeah.
And so on the
in a playful way. Arcade.
Yeah. So at the Arcanum Arcade, have topics everywhere from intellectual dark web topics to entrepreneurship, blockchain, cryptocurrency, 3D printing, micromanufacturing, politics, philosophy,
cannabis,
parenting, any type of subject that people get passionate about, and
But no one's allowed to talk about it anymore.
Exactly. So that's where you can go.
It used to be, what was it? It used to be religion, and what was the other thing?
Religion and politics
that you weren't supposed to talk about, and now it's like 50 different things.
Yeah. Now I will only be friends with people that talk about religion and politics.
Exactly.
So yeah, we'll leave a link to that in the description below. Yep. There are only certain channels within the Arcanum Arcade that you can contribute to initially, and then as you build up your experience points, let's say, others will be unlocked, and then we'll also be having some more exclusive content areas for VIP members in the future. But
sounds good.
All this stuff's in the development, but it's all super new. But I highly recommend just going to to invisiblehanddesign.com. It's the best place to...
Sound like an old man again.
Yeah.
The Facebook.
So, yeah, just follow us there. We also have Minds.
Minds. That's
account.
Right.
I can think of the word. We now have a Minds account. We have a Gab account. We're on Steemit.
Yep.
And so all the good alt social. And you will not find us on Facebook. Yeah. We do have a page, but fuck that. The Facebook is
We're
done.
not on it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But it is the Arcanum Arcade.
It is.
Right? Yeah, so just keep that in mind if you're looking for it. I'm sure you could probably leave out the and still find us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, although with Discord, it is invite only. So you have to get an invite.
See, I'm still learning all this stuff too. You have a lot to teach me about Discord.
Yeah.
I have not touched it really. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of crypto communities on there. A lot of the big projects, like Dash is huge on
Very
there.
Cool.
They've got probably a few 100,000 members on there, and it's just constantly, great conversation going on about their projects and product.
That's great.
So, that's how I discovered it, was by researching blockchain projects. And I was like, oh, this is a great platform. Oh, and then Sargon of Akkad created his own Discord channel for, shitlords and memers and his whole audience.
Shitlords.
Yeah. I love that term.
I
know. That's a really robust community. But, that's definitely a place for people with thick skin, because you go on there and, opinions and like insults and all of that are just flying around left and right. So you just got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all fun.
Yeah.
All fun. So let's see, what were some of the other topics we wanted to chat about? Oh, I'm really curious to hear about your post.
I knew that was coming up next.
on Reddit, which is
I knew that was coming up
something that I don't know much about, but for as long as I've known you, you've been really into Reddit.
Kind of passively, for a long time. Just kind of, that's where I got my news, where you would get your news from Twitter instead of either one of us going to the mainstream media outlets. And so very exciting, but at the same time kind of controversial. It was a post, you saw the picture, and I've actually taken it down now. Just because, just because my daughter was in the picture, and just having the little bit of controversy, I just didn't feel right, like, keeping it up. Overall, it was actually overwhelmingly positive. I've never had a post that got more than, like, maybe 50 or 60 likes on Reddit. This thing got 2,000.
No way.
Yeah, on Perfect Timing, a subreddit.
Oh, okay. So
so it wasn't on Funny, which is a lot more. I posted it to Funny as well, but Funny is a lot more active, and it was controversial there too. Like, I discovered that it was fluctuating quite a bit, just by like refreshing over and over after seeing, because I started seeing the overwhelmingly positive feedback, but then some of the comments were just saying that we're bad dog owners or something like that because of him in this position kind of thing.
Yeah, because no dog has ever done something ridiculous and jumped out of a shopping cart or
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's on you.
Yeah, I know.
But you got to describe what the picture
So
was.
basically, we were at the park with the dog and decided it would be kind of cute to see how he would do in like one of the little baby swings, and so we put him in there, and then she's like kind of gently pushing him, and then I was like, okay, well, let me go get a picture real quick. And I got 2 pictures of him in the swing, and then one picture of him after he jumped out and then kind of was doing a flip midair out of the swing.
Did he land on his head? It
No,
almost,
I mean, it caught him with his head. You can't actually see the bottom of his head.
Okay.
And quite frankly, it happened so fast, but, he basically landed on his back,
Okay.
but I didn't even realize until like 2 days later that I had caught this picture of him like, almost vertical in the air as he's coming out of this thing, and he fell onto the, soft little rubber ground and everything, and of course I learned my lesson that,
dogs don't go in swings.
Exactly, but there was just enough, a lot of the comments were funny, probably got like a good 2.5 dozen comments on it, but enough of them were like just a little overblown in terms of just like hate on I forgot though that Reddit really loves cats and dogs more than like children or just like an interesting picture or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a lot of vegans on
Reddit. There's a ton of vegans on Reddit. There's a lot, but and a lot of anti-vegans as well. I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of different things, but anyway, just because Audrey was in it, I just didn't want that kind of like energy being put onto, this kind of like negative energy being put onto her. But overwhelmingly, people thought it was a perfectly timed photo.
Yeah, it really is a funny picture.
It is. And Toby was fine. He didn't even like make a noise or anything like that. And he's a young buck.
Yeah. What were some of the worst comments that people posted?
Just like name calling. Basically just saying calling us monsters for putting this dog in a swing that were, bad dog owners and all that kind of stuff. So, kind of judgmental, but that's okay.
That's the internet.
I wouldn't mind if it was just like at me. I'd leave it up because, I don't think that there was anything really wrong with it. But, I never feel right about posting up pictures of Audrey anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. I can't even recall any time that I've ever posted a picture of my daughter on Facebook or anything like that. It's just
like all the pictures of Audrey on my Facebook were from someone else.
Yeah.
Like my her aunt.
Same for me.
Tagging me in them. So anyway, I actually have screenshots of all of it.
Oh, really?
The comments and stuff like that, just for fun. I'll show you later.
Okay.
But it was definitely a very exciting sort of reaction that I saw.
Uh-huh.
And but then this morning I just wanted to take it down. I don't want any negativity energy going towards her just because of everything that she's gone through.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
see, and look, and he's all right.
Hey, buddy.
No worse for the wear.
Who's a sweet boy. Yeah, he actually has a really good life. I think.
Pretty sweet life.
Apparently, I'm a terrible dog owner though. So.
Yeah, you are. I mean,
my opinion doesn't really count. Boat. I know, that's true. Barely.
But if you think about how big he is compared to the size of the boat, he pretty much lives in a mansion.
Yeah. Well, I keep on a boat when I'm on a boat, so that's less fair to me. Yeah. Just kidding. But who's a sweet boy? Come here. Come here. Oh. See? Come here. Proof that he lives. He's okay. In fact, he loves being on his back. Yeah. All right, so what's the next topic we got going on?
I got Johnny calling me, so I can't pull up my thing real quick. On that note, so...
My date last night? Sure, we can talk about
it. Oh, it was a date?
No.
Really? You told me otherwise.
Well, yeah, I mean, it felt like a date, but it definitely wasn't intended to be.
A platonic date.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so I just... Sorry to...
No, that's okay.
I just had Johnny Rocket calling me, good friend of mine, who I'm actually going to his wedding in 13 days in Arizona.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And while we're out there, we're going to be producing a podcast with, the whole group and everything. Little backstory there. you don't
I'm
know...
not part of the whole group?
No, you're not part of that group, sorry. But Johnny Rocket is or Johnny Adams, a.k.a. Johnny Rocket, is the host of Blast Off with Johnny Rocket, which was formerly the Launchpad with Johnny Rocket. And he and I last year formed the Launchpad Media as a way to bring together up-and-coming content creators, mostly podcasters, but now we're getting some more writers and hopefully starting to bring in some more video producers to develop content and to give them a platform to build their audience. It's mostly all focused on people with, I'd say people that are independent thinkers. A lot of them are very libertarian, but not all of them are, libertarian. And there's some really good content that the channel puts out.
Yeah.
And so I'll leave some information, some links for you to check that out. But we've recently decided to up our game in the last week or so, brought on his fiance as the editor-in-chief.
Cool.
So she's going to be in charge of all the written content. And we've started to streamline sort of our management, because I'm the VP of Launchpad Media.
Nice.
And so starting to streamline things, and hopefully we'll see it grow pretty significantly over the next few months. So one of the many irons I have in the fire.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of irons.
Yeah, you can call me Iron Man.
When are you going to start learning how to blacksmith?
That would actually be pretty cool.
I know. I've been watching some videos on YouTube, man. Like, it's pretty amazing the stuff that you can do with it.
Yeah.
It'd help our little exclusive product game quite a bit, too.
That's true, considering all the things we're going to be producing are micro-manufactured.
Yeah.
3D printed, laser cut and etched.
And if we could do some blacksmithing into that, too,
yeah,
that'd be cool. I actually saw somebody post on YouTube the other day. It was a propane-driven furnace, like a, for smelting down these like different metals and everything and heating them up and yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat. Like instead of having to use some big, what's the technical term for it? Is it a furnace or is it a?
I think it's a furnace.
Yeah.
But I am no blacksmith, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Something we could like set up in the backyard.
Yeah.
Just gotta get an anvil now.
Yeah. Next to the archery range.
Yeah.
And the chicken coop. Yeah. So, let's see what else. Maybe like to kind of touch on our keto journey a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And
well, your keto journey has been taken off a bit since.
Yeah. I mean, I've been.
It's been like
dialing it in more and more since I think I started experimenting with it around November of last year. Started getting a little bit more serious end of December.
Yeah.
And then was fully on board in January. And then, just...
But you're kind of like still tracking loosely, just trying to basically focus on cutting out the carbs.
Yeah, tracking my macros and...
have you been?
I have until I got to the point where I was comfortable with my eating choices and my habits.
Pattern, yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I don't need to track anymore because I know.
That's exactly what I did too.
Yeah.
Like you know the quantities of certain foods, and then you just kind of like stick to that within a little bit of variation and wiggle room.
Right. And so the app that I started using was the one that you showed me, was Carb Tracker. Right?
Carb Manager.
Carb Manager.
Which is really great.
Yeah.
And it has actually like keto macro profiles in it and everything like that. So anybody's interested, Carb Manager is a good one.
Yeah, that'll really help you start to figure out how you need to tailor your diet to be able to get the macros in the quantities that you need to be in ketosis.
Yeah, and pretty much all the functionality that I needed from it was for free. There's a pro version that you can like track ketones and stuff like that and track workouts, but like that takes way more time.
And I had no reason to use that other stuff.
Yeah.
I also in the last 3 weeks started intermittent fasting.
Has it only been that long? I thought like you were doing a little bit longer than that, but
I feel like it's been 3 weeks.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure about that, but I've worked my way up to now averaging 16 hours
Nice.
between my last meal and my breakfast.
A lot of people think that that's kind of the sweet zone.
So what I've
16
heard,
and 18 hours.
yeah, what I've heard is that you start producing, and maybe you know the word, I don't, but at 14 hours, your brain starts producing a certain chemical. I always say that certain. There's no T in certain.
Leptin?
Certain chemicals. Was it?
Are you talking about leptin?
That might be.
I mean, there's hunger hormones and all that kind of stuff, but as far as I understood, you get into a cyclical nature, like a time that you eat, and then your body like learns to expect that you're gonna eat at that time, and then it'll basically start preparing for a meal, expecting you to eat, and then if you do, then you're fine, but if you don't, then you'll just kind of move past it. But so going back to after 14 hours, I just don't know, because I mean you kind of have to shift if it's a leptin driven thing, then like you kind of have to. I don't know enough about it, but your body has to like get used to that. So maybe it's something different that you're talking about as far as that 14-hour.
Yeah, I don't know the exact science. I just know that from my research that the effects of intermittent fasting start to hit their peak at 14 hours, and then I want to say they have a point of diminishing return somewhere around 30.
Well, yeah, so definitely you don't start to hit the peak until later on, but I think it starts probably around 14 hours.
Yeah, that could be.
A lot of people are saying that the minimum you should do is 12 hours. That's just anybody, whether you're healthy or not. Like, you should just have your fasting period, because it's something that our bodies were naturally kind of adapted to. But yeah, I think it's from what I've heard, at least, and there's different aspects to this too. Like, there's the autophagy aspect, there's the growth hormone aspect, there's the stem cell production aspect, there's the ketosis aspect to it. And from what it seems like the majority of the kind of people talking about this stuff, they say between like 20 hours and 30 hours up to 36 hours is when your growth hormone really starts to like spike up. So you can get like 2,000 to 3,000% increase in your growth hormone between those periods of time. But then after that, you get maybe like a 20 or 30% increase.
Okay.
So definitely more than like a full day's fasting to get just that aspect. That's the only one that I really know that people talk about a lot, and they've seen this in the lab sort of setting. But I don't know about the autophagy and the stem cells. And then, of course, there's different fasts that you can do too. So I've never done one, but people talk about a dry fast where you don't even drink water, which sounds really scary to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Like, unless there's some really like obvious reason that there's a huge benefit that comes out of it, like I won't do that. It's like, sounds like torture. I mean, me, I put salt in my water so that I don't miss out on electrolytes and all that kind of stuff. So water is like crucial, but there's fat fasting, which might affect autophagy or might affect growth hormone. There's also, people do like juice fasts, which I haven't really looked into because it sounds like you're not really fasting at that point.
Yeah. My girlfriend Sayaka's done a juice fast before, and she said it worked pretty well for her.
Was it a sweet juice, though, or was it like a kale?
I would imagine it's probably mostly veggies and some fruit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's just, you're just getting the plant nutrients.
Yeah.
It's, you're not getting protein or fat or any of these other things that you need.
Well, what scares me about that is, like, we've obviously seen now that a calorie is not the same between all different foods. Like a calorie from refined sugar is going to have a completely different hormonal response in your body than a calorie from pure fat, and it's a spectrum of things. So if you like, the standard thing is like reduce your calories and exercise more. Your hormonal and metabolic response to that is awful. It's almost like a starvation sort of response. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you do a ketosis diet or a diet that mimics fasting or just straight up fasting, whether it's comfortable or not, given a certain amount of time or a certain way of preparation to get used to it, your hormonal response is not going to be a starvation response. It's going to be a catabolic response where your body starts going into repair. Starvation response is not going to be, I don't know, maybe it will have some aspects of repair to it, but I know that you're going to have this kind of pendulum swing back the other way, which,
and that's from my understanding, if your
the greatest
body,
losers always gain back all that
if
stuff.
your body goes into a starvation response, what you're telling your body to do is to store away as much as it possibly can, because it doesn't know when it's going to get its next meal. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're priming your body to store more fat.
Exactly. Whereas if you have already shifted, or you do long enough time so that your body can shift into that fat burning, mm-hmm. and it's going to say, oh, we got plenty of energy right here. We don't need to keep storing it away. But as mm-hmm. soon as you get that hormonal signal back again to start storing stuff again, so like if you break your fast, and most people have a sugary breakfast.
Yeah.
If you break your fast with high carbohydrates and refined sugars, and you spike that insulin, then your body's going to be like, okay, well, we didn't have food for this long, so now let's just, and, a lot of our carbohydrate and sugary foods don't have a lot of actual nutrition for your body to use out of it. It's just mm-hmm. all energy. And you're going to crave more because you haven't actually gotten the things that your body actually needs. So it's going to just store away that energy. And mm-hmm. So it's I like how we're entering a time where things are like really starting to come together and make sense, both from a perspective of, we've been trying this experiment for so long, and our advice and people following our advice has only gotten us into a sicker state. Mm-hmm. nationwide and even globally now. And, the information that we're discovering uh-huh. has actually been known by our ancestors for so long that these are the ways to eat, and mm-hmm. these are the times to eat. And
there's something we've been talking about a little bit here and there. Is it seems to be a yearning for ancient wisdom mm-hmm. right now.
Novo archeo.
Yeah. And I think that there's so much value in it. It's not to say that whatever is, old or ancient is going to be more primitive necessarily.
Or ideal.
And it's not to also say that whatever's brand new thinking is going to be cutting edge and more correct.
Mm-hmm. Or wrong. Or not necessary or detrimental.
Yeah.
Like, in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
it's a balancing act, really.
Yeah.
Like, we can't forget our past and our ways of doing things before.
And this actually touches on something that has sort of a sociological factor to it, which is that you have on, let's just take the liberal, progressive, and the conservative ideas, and you have liberals and progressives that are saying anything that's old needs to be destroyed, mm-hmm. needs to be torn down. It's immoral, or whatever they're going to call it, and that we need to build something new from the ground up. And then you have people that are strict conservatives, which are, anything that's new is dangerous.
Don't change.
And don't change, and we need to do what's only tried and true. And but the fact is, societies that only do one or the other don't succeed.
Yeah.
What we need is more people that are looking at, what is the ancient wisdom, the ancient knowledge, and what are what's the newest discoveries, and how do we find where they all fit together? We can examine each piece and be like, oh, this piece actually fits a little bit better than this piece, so let me put it in here. Oh, wow, that actually works really well. Let's go based off of this.
How do we combine the best of both worlds?
Right. And so I think that is kind of what we're seeing with going back to the intellectual dark web, is like, it's not being afraid of either the ancient or the cutting edge, the new, the progressive. It's being able to look at it all and assess it for what it is, and to figure out what makes the most sense and how we can assemble it individually and apply it individually, and not be like this is the way everybody needs to do it.
That's exactly what we don't need.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. But we're all also kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's, I think, where the balance really comes in, too.
Mm-hmm.
While you were speaking, I just had this thought in my hand that you have, like, the right hand, you have the left hand, and then you have the invisible hand, like, in the center.
I like that.
Yeah.
We might have to do something with that.
I agree. Because, you know, I mean, I've been looking into, like, the esoteric and more, like, occult ideas and beliefs for a very long time.
Oh yeah, we've gone deep down those rabbit holes together.
And I like the idea of, you know, there's a right-hand path and a left-hand path, and, you know, one in and of itself is not necessarily the way that you want to be, but both are kind of necessary too. You have to be able to serve others, and you have to be able to serve yourself. And it is a balancing act, and, you know, they call that middle path.
Yeah,
you know.
And that was, you know, my early entry into a lot of philosophy was Buddhism, and Buddhism is known as the middle path.
Exactly.
And I find that being kind of a common element in a lot of wisdom and philosophy and knowledge. And, you know, so I really like where you're saying, like, the invisible hand is that middle path.
Yeah. It's hard to see.
Because it's both individual and collective. It's about the idea of, you know, the individual doing what is in their best interest and what's best for them by default is going to also have to think about what is best for the other, so that way that everybody can be in harmony.
Exactly. Because we can't improve ourselves without pretty much everybody around us and the things that were created before us. And, you know, we can also improve ourselves by giving what we've learned and what we've been given, recreate it, reassemble it, and give it back out.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. And if we're all doing that simultaneously, then it's a pretty magical thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we're about.
And since we're sort of in the realm of this conversation, and broaching this subject is something I think we could talk about for another hour and a half easily.
Which we may not want to broach then, because it's already been, what?
It's been a half hour-ish. I'm not sure.
I feel like it's 40, 45 maybe.
I don't know, do we want to...
Let me check, see how long we've been recording for.
Okay. And then I'll
we might as well broach. I mean, I never mind. Yeah, 48 minutes.
Okay.
I never mind broaching.
We'll broach it, but I think we need to go maybe even do an entire podcast about it.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Because I actually do not have a lot of time today. I have other obligations. So
yeah, I do too.
I'll have to cut this a little short. But the thing that blew up on the internet in the last few weeks, the Joe Rogan Alex Jones podcast, was possibly one of the most entertaining things I've watched in a long time.
I had to watch it twice.
I think in preparation for us doing a podcast about it, I'm going to watch it again.
Take some notes.
So Alex Jones was in rare form.
Yeah.
I mean,
like literally rare form. Like, I've never seen him like so crazy, and I've never seen him so calm, like, at the same time. Like, he went from one to the other, and like rational, and then also just like livid.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Oh, it was a sight to behold. I can't even tell you. You just have to watch it.
And if you haven't yet, where have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah. His podcast is one of the biggest now, and then he's one of the most controversial people he's ever had on.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and no matter what you think of Alex Jones, it is well worth the watch.
Oh, yeah.
Just from a pure entertainment standpoint. And
you're talking about Bill Hicks, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're the same person.
Which they actually talk about in that podcast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll save getting into it for the next one, which hopefully we can do in the next few days. But Alex Jones came with a list of topics he wanted to cover. So I was almost thinking of figuring out, of re-listening to it and writing down his list of topics.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we can use his list to talk about what they talked about.
That sounds good.
But, I'd say watch it before we post it so you're in the know too.
Yeah, kind of join in on the conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, but it's just funny because I haven't listened to Alex Jones in a long time. I used to listen to him a lot, like maybe 8 years ago or so.
I remember when we were working together. I think you were watching a bit of his stuff as well.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed him from an entertainment standpoint first.
Yeah. He's very entertaining.
And then, I felt like the information he presented was oftentimes, very worth discussion.
Always thought-provoking.
And then sometimes it's just purely ridiculous, and I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? Seriously. Like when he has David Icke on the program or something like that. I'm like, really? Reptilians?
David Icke is a whole other ball game.
Right. So it's just kind of fun getting that, this podcast with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones is Alex Jones in a nutshell. That's him, in his purest form.
Yeah.
And so, if you've never really listened to him before, give it a listen. You'll just be rolling in your seat and rolling your eyes and
especially when Eddie Bravo comes in with his flat earth.
Oh yeah.
That's stuff.
Just wonderful stuff.
We remember we're gonna start the Flat Hand Society.
So many things we can do with this Flat Hand Society.
Oh man. I mean, it's better to have a flat hand than a fist hand.
Yeah.
We don't have the
a flat hand is open.
Exactly.
And a fist is used for bludgeoning.
It's closed-minded.
Yes.
It's a closed system.
So
a flat, open system.
Oh, I like this. Maybe we'll have to change the name of our subgroup within Discord.
Yeah. The Flat Hand Society.
The Flat Hand Society.
That's great. Last thing I just think might be worth mentioning is, if you guys haven't noticed, we're in a different setting this time. We're trying to do a different setting each time, but at the same time, that might be a little difficult to find different settings every single time. Right. This is the inside of my boat, which you saw the outside on the first episode.
Right up there.
Yep, a stone's throw away, literally.
Yeah.
And so let us know what you think of this setting. We might be doing this
I actually
a few times.
think that this is a pretty good setting. You know, I think the sound is going to be good. We've got some good psychedelic artwork over here. At night, this glows with this neon colors.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good setting, as well.
And in the morning, we have nice light coming in from the windows. Yeah. So.
And then we'll probably be doing more from my home office too. Yeah. Sandwiched between my two standing desks with my 3D printer right there. Maybe have a cool 3D print going in the background while we're talking.
Yep. That would be cool.
Like that.
Except for we need to fix that little scratching noise if we're going to.
Oh yeah, I gotta, grease some bearings or something on that so it's not so squeaky.
That'd be pretty easy.
Yeah. So. But so hopefully now that we're not giving ourselves such difficult parameters for producing the podcast, now that we've started to get everything else in order.
Now that I have Adobe Premiere CC.
Now that you can do the editing.
Yeah.
We should be able to put these out once a week, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we just gotta set a schedule and then do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, if you enjoy watching us ramble about nonsense, about things in our lives and what we're researching and, what we're doing with our businesses and all of that good stuff, please subscribe to our channel.
Give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
Hit the little bell.
Yep.
What do all they say?
Yeah. Smash that like.
Yeah.
And subscribe. So.
And of course, leave your comments. Let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's it.
I think that'll do it for today.
Yeah, we need to have a little. We definitely need to settle on a sign off. for this.
I agree.
But maybe we should sign off with a handshake.
All right.
The Flat Hand Society.
Yeah, we're literally shaking.
All right, take care, guys.
Cool.